So close of play on this second day at Trent Bridge. England 90 for 1 in reply to New Zealand's 553 all out. Daryl Mitchell making 190. What a day out for him. He was dropped on 3 and he was dropped today on 104 by Potts. And it cost a lot of runs. England did take the last 5 wickets for 57, but plenty of damage had been done by then, because New Zealand were up to 496. 100 for Blundell and 49 from Bracewell in his first Test match. So a challenge for England, 553 all out New Zealand. What would England come up with? Well, their response wasn't too bad. Crawley went early in the second over, caught by Blundell off Bolt for 4. Lees was dropped on 12. He has reached his highest Test score, 34 not out at the close. And Ollie Pope also dropped on 37 by Mitchell. So Mitchell dropped both those catches. Pope through to a half century. He resumes tomorrow 51 not out. England are 463 runs behind. Michael Vaughan is alongside me. So how do you see it, Michael, after 2 days? I mean, only 11 wickets have fallen. But is there still a big opportunity here for New Zealand?
Yeah, and it's also a big opportunity for England's batters, because this pitch is pure. It's a real good one for scoring runs on the outfields. Very quick. It's a fast-scoring ground. There's not a great deal of swing so far. Not a great deal of uneven bounce. We've yet to see anything that you'd kind of look at from a spinner and go, well, I'm threatened by that. So, you know, I was really pleased with the England pair there. Yes, they've had an element of fortune each, but you've got to have a bit of luck sometimes in Test match cricket. It's gone the way of Alex Lees, Daryl Mitchell, whether he's just tired from his batting or just lost that element of concentration. Has given him a huge life, because that's an easy one for a first grabber. And Ollie Pope was playing nice, and then he just jabbed at one from Trent Bolt. I think it's a keeper's catch. You know, I think the keeper's just got to go for that. I just wonder whether Blundell's got something wrong with his hand. You know, we saw him with the physio when he was batting, and if he has got a sore part of his hand, you know, you can understand that he might be just shying away from 1 or 2 balls coming his way. But the pitch is pure. The forecast is good tomorrow. England are only 1 wicket down. They're so far behind the game, though, that they know they have a really bad session. This Test match just turns on its head, and I guess we all watch England, particularly when they've got the bat in hand, and we're always thinking, if 1 goes, 2 could go, 3 could go, and the collapse could happen, like we've seen on a regular basis. But I get the sense on this kind of wicket, if it continues to play like it has done today, England should have enough to bat out tomorrow. You know, they shouldn't get bowled out on that kind of wicket in a day. You know, that is a good Test match wicket, and if they do get bowled out on a pitch like that tomorrow, they'll have played some poor strokes.
I'm thinking England probably need to bat into the 4th day as well, don't they? Because, you know, say they got 300 tomorrow and lost most of their wickets, they're still, you know, quite a long way behind. New Zealand could score quickly in their second innings and then not set England something, but make it difficult for England on the final day. So they're going to have to. It's not just about tomorrow. They'd like to bat into the 4th day as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a team collective, but I think individuals have just got to arrive tomorrow. And Ollie Pope's played nicely for his 50. I thought his first 30 balls, he didn't quite have the balance. You could see he was a little bit panicky. Then he played a beautiful cover drive off Matt Henry, and he almost found his balance on that front foot and started to score freely. It's a great chance to go and get a big score. Of course, the first half an hour is going to be the key. You've got to get yourself back in. If he's still there at 11:30, 11:45, I could see a good score from Ollie Pope. Impressed again with Alex Lees. I think his balance is excellent. But when you get on a pitch like this against an attack that's, you know, if the ball's moving, they're dangerous, but they don't have express pace and there's no mystery spinner, you've got to capitalise. You've got to think this is a pure week to go and get a big score, as Mitchell did, as Blundell did. But we just know with England that anything's possible. That's why they're a good team to watch. Anything's possible. If New Zealand get the ball swinging in the morning, and it probably will be that first hour, that it'll swing more than potentially throughout the whole day, you could see that New Zealand could knock over 2 or 3 wickets. But if they don't, someone's got to go big on there.
Alex Lees, is that the most impressed you've been with him in his Test career so far? I know it's early days, 34 not out. Okay, he's been out there for 26 overs. He generally has scored quite slowly, but did you see a Test player out there today?
Yeah, I saw one in the second innings at Lord's, actually, when he got 20. yes, he's had that element of fortune, but some of those cover drives, the on drive down the ground off Southey when he came back into the attack. I haven't seen him against spin that often, so I'd be interested to see how he plays Michael Bracewell. But yeah, it's been his balance, that defensive shot on the front foot. He looks like he's got a real solid base. He's talked about Matthew Hayden, and Hayden is his hero. He played 1 or 2 drives down the ground earlier that you thought, yeah, there's a bit of Hayden in there, but as I said, he goes to bed tonight, not out, and he's got to come back tomorrow and start afresh, knowing, you don't say to yourself, oh, there's 150 there for me, but as a batter, when the week's in your favour. There are weeks when you kind of look at the pitch and the conditions and you see a load of overhead and you think, oh, it's going to be tricky. If I get to 30, I'll be happy. This is the kind of week that you shouldn't be happy with a 30 or 40. This is the kind of week that that the pitch is pure and everything's in your favour. You've got to put it in the bank. You've got to get a few in the bank on a week like this.
Zach Crawley, he fielded for 145.3 overs. He batted for not very long out in the second over, nicking off, not on the drive. He was actually playing a defensive shot. Discuss.
It was a good ball. I think it was clever bowling from Bolt. Like that wobble seam, it just bounced a little bit. The pressure's building. There's no point in hiding away from the fact that Zach Crawley has made mistakes when he's got in, which is costing him. You get to 40 at Lords, you go and get 100, because that you're opening the bat and you can get a ball like he's just got here at Trent Bridge on a flat wicket opening the bat, and you can get good balls that you can't do a great deal about. So that's why when you get in and you get that opportunity to get big scores, you put it in the bank. And in the last year or so, when he's been in, he hasn't got big enough scores, so the pressure is on him. I think he can play. I think he's got a future at Test level, but he does need scores. It's not that we can keep saying he's a good player and he keeps getting out. He'll know in his own mind that he needs runs quite quickly, because I think the one thing of being a player at the minute is there's no pressure coming from outside, because there's no games on. There'd have been 2 or 3 4-day games over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and Sibley or Compton had got a huge amount of runs. Well, I think there'd have been more pressure on someone like Zach Crawley. He'll see out the series, but he's got 3 innings left, and I would think in those 3 innings he might need a decent number by his name.
Ollie Pope played several fine strokes. We know what a good stroke maker he is. Is he a solid England number 3 for the future?
Oh, he's starting. It's on his 3rd time of asking. He's 50 odd not out. Do I watch Ollie at the minute and like I do with Joe Root, who's a great player, and sit back and relax that, oh, he's in? No.
Never think he's in, really.
Not at the minute.
You do feel he gives the bowler a chance, don't you? And it makes him beguiling in a way.
Yeah, he's entertaining, he's good to watch. I think he has to work out that balance on the front foot. I think he has to work a system where that right side doesn't come through quite as much. He kind of always brings that right thigh through sometimes when he's defending. He got better as he stayed in a little bit longer, and he played some beautiful drives through the offside with pure balance. I just want to see that on a more regular basis. Is he England's number 3? He is at the minute, and he's got the chance to make sure that it's his for a long time, because he's a young player. He's in his 25th Test match. There's not that many crying out to bat at number 3. Most of England's kind of players are all 5, 6 and 7 players that you're looking at. Harry Brook bats at 5 for Yorkshire. Will he want a bat at number 3? I'm sure he would if he was asked, because he wants to play in the side, but he's not used to batting at number 3. So Ollie Pope sleeps tonight, 50 not out, thinking big score.
We can get some reaction now. England batting coach Marcus Trescothick has been speaking to Alison Mitchell.
Well, Marcus, a wicket down early tonight, but are you heartened by the partnership that's developed?
Yeah, very much so. I think it's good to see the guys, really having a good time out there and scoring runs and getting us into a nice position after a tough couple of days. But it's good to be in where we are at the moment, only one down.
Both batters had let-offs, but then there were dropped catches in the slips. Quite a few this match.
Yeah.
Is there any reason for that, do you think, here?
No idea. It seems to be a bit infectious, doesn't it, how it goes like that? But you try and make the most of it when you get those opportunities, as Mitchell did. He obviously played brilliantly, and we missed a couple of opportunities. But I don't think there's any real explanation. Sometimes it just happens, and whether it's a concentration thing or whether it's a viewing thing, I don't think we really know, really.
Half century for Ollie Pope, though, batting at 3. How different has that challenge been for him? And have you been working with him specifically in your capacity as batting coach? Yeah,
very much so. I think we're just trying to find the right balance for him. He's done 4 mainly batting for Surrey, and obviously then stepping up. It could be one ball difference. So I don't think there's a great deal of different approach to what you need to do. It's more about getting in and getting an understanding of their bowlers, getting used to the pitch and the surrounding and what's going on. And I think he has the temperament, he has the talent to do that. It's just allowing the time that he can get in to show the skills that he's got, and he's got himself to a position nicely at the moment. Another big day tomorrow, and we'll see what happens from there. But it's great working with with him or Alex Lees or Zach Crawley, these sort of people, trying to promote them and help them get better. It's a great sort of project for me to get stuck into.
And what about the way Alex Lees has gone about his innings so far? He's just about got his Test best score at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's a rock really. He's very solid how he goes about things. Very solid defence and the style of play. And he's just fitting into the team really well. So it's just getting the balance right. And like we said, with all the other guys, it's given them more skill and more time to grow into the Test match arena. And once we get that and they understand it a bit more, then they're gonna build a formidable partnership, definitely.
The pitch just still looks good. Is it going to take good deliveries and obviously holding catches to get wickets? Do you feel confident of getting a big first innings here?
I hope so, of course we do. I think there's still, as we've seen there's the odd occasion where they get the ball in the right place and it does a little bit, like Crawley's dismissal tonight. Then good balls can still be bowled. So, you've still got to be working hard. Yes, it feels like a good pitch, but if you don't concentrate well and you don't do the discipline and do the right things when you're out in the middle, then you can surely be challenged. So, it leaves us for us tomorrow to come back and, continue what we've done today and then put in partnerships where the guys bat for long periods of time.
Many tired bodies in there after lengthy time in the field? Yeah,
naturally. I think 140 odd overs in the field, that takes it out of anybody, isn't it? They toured hard and worked in good partnerships together. Didn't quite get the results as we did maybe down at Lord's, but I think the enjoyment they had and the hard work they put in is a good thing for the team to see.
Good luck for the rest of the match, Marcus. Thank you.
England batting coach Marcus Trescothick talking to Alison Mitchell and his Zaltzman to my left. That's the main statistical points of the day, Andy.
Well, New Zealand making 553 after being put into bat by England, the third highest score by a team against England having been put into bat. Daryl Mitchell's 190, the third highest by a New Zealand player in England. New Zealand's total was their highest in England. Mitchell and Blundell became the first New Zealand wicketkeeper to make a Test century in this country, and they've had two stands of over 150 in this series, and only the fourth visiting pair to have that feat in a series in England since 1934, and so far 18 chances in the match, 7 drops, 11 catches.
Well, Daryl Mitchell to the fore today, as he was yesterday. We can hear from him now. He is also speaking to Alison.
Daryl, congratulations on the back-to-back hundreds. Were there some mixed emotions walking off given how close you came to a double?
No, to be honest, not really bothered about the double. It's just nice to contribute to a score that helps us put us in a game to win the Test match. It's obviously very rewarding to get the individual achievement, but also just to help the boys out.
Good pitch out there, but do you just feel in top touch at the moment?
It's obviously a nice surface. You can see the way England played tonight, but for me it's just going out, playing my game, trusting my skills, and hopefully on the day that allows me to have some success. It's always cool to get some scores, and it's good fun.
Yeah. Nice pat on the back from Joe Root as you went off. If you get given a let off, you have to make the most of it, don't you?
Yeah, that's the wonders of Test cricket. Obviously when you get a few chances, you got to make the most of it, and you always need a bit of luck on your side as well in this game. And it was nice to get a little bit this time.
How do you see the rest of this match panning out? Because it does still look like a good pitch. Is it going to be hard to take 20 wickets on it?
Hopefully not. Hopefully, we created 3 chances tonight, and we know that if we keep putting the balls in the right spots for long periods of time, we'll be able to build some pressure. And you never know. Test cricket's a funny game. It's a long game, and we know if we keep playing the long game for as long as we can, we'll give ourselves the best chance.
Don't want to particularly focus on dropped catches after your fantastic batting, but how did you see the two that came to you?
That's the nature of the game. Is that the first one obviously I'd back myself to catch 9 times out of 10, and the second one's a reaction catch. So that's the nature of the game that we play. Is sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't. But hopefully we can take the next few, and we'll be all good.
And a word for Tom Blundell, because he missed out on the 100 at Lord's, so delight for him to reach that landmark. Yeah,
it's obviously awesome for Tom. He's put in a lot of work, and his contributions to this team have been massive. Obviously to miss out the one at Lord's and to get one today is special, and it's always good fun batting with Tommy, and we had some good fun out there.
Well done today, congratulations.
Sweet. Thank you, cheers.
That's Daryl Mitchell sounding very cheerful. Now, what about New Zealand's prospects in this game? Daryl Mitchell talking their prospects up here. We created 3 chances, Jeremy Coney, and that's how they've got to look at it. They're still a long way ahead. They've got a lot of runs on the board, and we know how fallible this England batting lineup can be.
Well, I mean, New Zealand, I thought the bowling was tidy. I thought it was, there was swing for Southey. There was, some bounce there for Jameson. I thought Bolt was, varying things and does what he does. So, and Henry himself, while it may not be his pitch, but look, he nips it around and he hurries people up with just an extra little bit of pace. He's busy. So I thought all of those bowlers will sit down this evening and they'll feel, gee, I think I'm in that game. I think that, okay, the runs are going to come. I've got to be just a comfortable that's going to happen. But I think we can create chances. I think I can do that for the side. And once you do that, New Zealand really only need a session and a half, a good one, and that could actually just turn this match. So they'll be hoping it'll be tomorrow morning, and it might just, things might work for them in the morning. We'll see. But I think New Zealand are in this game.
Interesting listening to Daryl Mitchell there. I mean, he did sound very cheerful. Well, why not? He scored 190,
Sure.
But he dropped 2 catches. I wonder if the bowlers would be quite as cheerful at seeing them go down. Well, how can you explain the drop catching in this match? Is it just one of those things?
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know whether the fact that he batted for so long that can sort of just make you more fatigued than you think. Just that little bit off. Certainly the first catch, that was a really comfortable one for him, and as Andy said, he doesn't drop that many in tests so far, so that was a bit unusual. And the only thing we can think is different is the length of time that he batted. I don't know why that's happening. New Zealand is slightly more deep in their, in their depth and so on, and lateral distance as well. They usually hold the ball very well. They're usually quite a good catching side, so that's unusual. They'll hope it all to change tomorrow. I really can't explain that. I wasn't looking. I couldn't see any really obvious technical deficiencies in the way they were standing, the way they were preparing to take the catch.
What about England's batting? What did you make of Ollie Pope? As a New Zealand captain, you think, yeah, you'll play some nice shots, but he might give us a chance.
Yes, I think that's right. I mean, it's early days. I mean, he's only just starting at number 3. He hasn't hardly played there, has he? So, he gives you a chance. But he keeps the score going, doesn't he? He keeps playing. I think balance is the issue for Ollie Pope at the moment, just to get that decent stride in and to be balanced and not have another foot coming round to hold his balance. He's just got to work on that, and I'm sure, he's obviously got class.
What about the nature of the lead New Zealand would like?
460?
Well, yeah, but if you were saying, like, okay, if I offered you 150, would you take that? 100 lead, 150 lead?
Oh, well, of course they'll take that, yes. I don't think they should get down. It keeps them in the game all tomorrow, doesn't it? A total like that keeps you in the match for a day and a bit. So, New Zealand ahead because of the runs, and I think they were creating chances, and they'll be pleased with that, even though they'll be disappointed they haven't taken them, nobbled them.
Great, thanks very much, Jeremy. So we're moving towards the close of our broadcast on this second day of the second Test match at Trent Bridge, with New Zealand in a strong position, but England fighting hard. New Zealand 553, thanks to that 190 from Daryl Mitchell and Tom Blundell as well. Let's not forget that. 106. Crawley out for 4. Pope back tomorrow. 51 not out, and Alex Lees will be back alongside him with 34. England 90 for 1 from 26 overs.